All right. How's it going? This is Hard Talk Radio. I'm your host, MrDeadman. And tonight we're talking about dinosaurs and horror. Two things that really have not meshed at all, much at all. But tonight, Lucas, Magnum? It's Magnum, right?
It's Mangum, actually. There's a small town in Texas, Mangum.
Mangum. Man gum, like a manly gum. What is that? Like tobacco?
Yeah, I guess maybe.
I mean,
I don't know. How would you make gum manly, right? I don't know.
I mean, damn. I guess it would have to be tobacco. Tobacco. Come on, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or hey, remember that? What's that? Ballpark chew. What's that? Big League chew. That.
There you go.
That is man gum right there.
That's a manly gum.
Yeah, that's man gum right there. All right. All right, Lucas, Big League Chew. How's it going, man?
It's going great, man. It's great to be here.
So, let's talk about Extinction Peak. Oh, actually, table that real fast. Before we do that, getting ahead of myself here. Who are you and what do you do?
So, again, Lucas Mangum. I live here in Austin, Texas, and where it is still 90 degrees and it's almost Halloween. And I am an author of several books. My latest is Extinction Peak. It's a novel of dinosaur terror, and other notable works are Saint Sadist, which was nominated for a Splatterpunk Award last year, and there's Mania, which was like kind of a cursed screenplay.
Wait, Tom. A cursed screenplay?
Yeah, it's a book about a cursed screenplay where everybody who tries to film it either dies or loses their mind, and it's like super fun Hollywood ghost. Yes, you would call it.
Wait, isn't that based on a true? Is that based on a true screenplay? Because I thought maybe something about a screenplay that was so cursed that they don't want anybody to read it. You heard it? You know about that, right?
I don't, but I may or may not have done some interesting viral marketing ideas, into action when that book first came out. Man. So maybe you read something like that on Reddit. Who knows?
Oh, come on, man! I think it was called A Took. A Took was the name of the film. It's unfilmed. Okay. So it's an American film, and the screenplay. A lot of people read it, and everyone who ever touched it, John Belushi was one of them, and everyone who's ever touched a screenplay, they die. Damn,
wow,
son.
That's bananas.
See,
I've got to read up on that.
You're tapping into a vein, man. All right.
Yeah, It happens sometimes, right? You write something, and then you're like, oh, I somehow ripped off of real life,
Mm-hmm. And not to belittle your other stories. You said one was accepted for, or was it nominated, or
Saint Sadist was nominated for a Splatterpunk Award this past year. It was in a category with Ed Lee's White Trash Gothic 2, Wesley Souther's One for the Road.
Nice.
A couple other titles that I'm having a hard time remembering right now.
That's okay.
Not to diminish those or in any way, but yeah, no, it was nominated there. It was really crazy to see because that book was really like, all the gloves are off, kind of horror. And I took a lot of risks, from a stylistic standpoint. So it was nice to get that sort of validation. Because being nominated is like every bit as good as winning, in my opinion. It's just nice to be recognized.
Right. If you're nominated, at least, they say, first place is the only winner, second place is a loser. But I don't believe in that here. And not when it comes to writing, not like this. Because, to be nominated in that way means that you've been recognized, you've been accepted, and what you have there is fine work, okay? We're not talking about a race. Yeah. We're not talking about a sprint. We're talking about creating a work of art, in this case a book, that people are going to be able to enjoy. And you received that accomplishment, okay? So don't let anybody bust your balls about that. Oh, you didn't get first place.
Yeah.
But damn it, you were nominated.
Exactly.
How many others could say that, right?
Yeah, because it's like, if it got nominated and recommended and all that, it's like, well, somebody out there, at least thought it had a shot at winning. I mean, if it got nominated. So I mean, I think that's definitely a feat in and of itself.
Okay, now, but why write? Isn't it so solitary? I mean, why?
Yeah, it can be, but I don't know. I get quite a kick out of it. I've always been doing it. I've been doing it since I was very young, so it's kind of just been the way I play in a lot of ways, I guess. Uh, I know plenty of people who, they play, they do video games. I play video games too, but
Yeah.
it's just it is solitary, but I mean, I've also made some of the best friends I've ever had from doing this writing stuff, so that's kind of cool. So it's the actual act of writing is solitary, but I think there's a lot of things that come from it that can not make it so isolating.
Like reaching out to maybe fans that appreciate the work, or reaching out to fellow writers that can help you with the craft. Which, I talk to a lot of authors here on the show, and one thing I notice is this: while some may say horror authors are like stuck in their own head and they're creating their own worlds or whatever, I notice there's plenty of them that are willing to help out, when asked, willing to collaborate and all that. That's good. Now,
Yeah, definitely.
Now, why horror though? Because the cliche is that something may have happened in your childhood, and if we want to go deep and talk about that, you feel free to, man. You feel free to. I got a couch right there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's like there may be some validity to that theory, but I mean, I was into horror long before anything, traumatic happened to me. Like, I've been a horror fan since I was like 6. So I've always kind of gravitated towards it. I like the idea of, like, I don't know, kind of I guess safely being scared, maybe.
Safely
like
being scared.
Yeah. Because I don't like roller coasters, and I don't know if it's because I'm a horror fan or I'm a horror person, but like I just always go to the worst case scenario. Like, I'm like, yeah, Final Destination 3 or
Right.
But nothing can happen to you while you're watching a movie or reading a book.
You'd hope not, anyway. I mean, the worst case scenario would be like a heart attack or something.
Right.
Or someone like
Yes.
robbing your house, busting into a home invasion while you're watching a horror movie. Shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could have this kind of like, oh my God, like you could be watching the thing that's about to happen to you,
Yeah. No. Okay. Now let's talk about Extinction Peak. Because first off, I've read like maybe 5 or 7 chapters of it so far. I can't read anymore because the book, my phone died. I did a whole rant about that a couple days ago, and I got an ebook. So,
oh no.
Yeah. So, can you tell me how it ends? Can you just spoil the book for me right here? Just tell me how it ends.
I won't tell you how it ends, but I will say dinosaurs are not the only interesting creature that will show up. There's some very specific creatures from a very special H.G. Wells novel from back in the day that make a special guest appearance in Extinction Peak, and they kind of are what really push the story into its third act. So I think I don't know. I think you'll be really excited when you see them.
I mean, there's creatures or a legion or a force behind the dinosaurs.
Sort of, yeah. There's a lot going on. There's I don't want to give too much away, but the dinosaurs like kind of come from this other dimension that's called, like the Hollow. So it's kind of a play on Hollow Earth.
The Hollow. So like a Hollow Earth thing. Like the globalists are real, ladies and gentlemen. The globalists that Alex Jones talks about are real. The intergalactic Draculas are real. They live in the Earth. Hollow Earth is real. Reptoids, they do exist. They've been waiting this whole time to come up and take over Earth. It's happening. Extinction Peak is not just a work of fiction. It is a Bible. Get it
It is.
now.
It's
Know how to
prophecy.
prepare yourself. Go to Amazon right now. Buy a copy. That's going to be your survival guide.
Yeah, it might tell you more of what not to do, though. I got to be honest.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah,
Internet's full of irony. Everything's irony on the internet. What not to do.
that's true.
You know what? They'll see a couple of their bros do it and be like, "Oh man, we shouldn't do that." Are you sure? Maybe if we try, it'd be different.
Let's try
You
it.
know,
Well,
it'd
yeah,
be
it'll
like-
be different if we do it.
The Tide Pod challenge, you know, it'd be great. It'd be great. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
or the Benadryl
Yeah.
challenge. What are these kids are doing now? You know, let nature handle it anymore. Jesus.
Oh, is that why I can only buy one bottle of Benadryl at a time? Like, is it
Yeah.
because is there a Benadryl challenge going
Think-
on? Oh, that's
You got to
that's
thank
silly.
kids for that. You got to thank TikTok for that. Thank you, TikTok. Thank you. Thank you. And
Yeah.
maybe you should have been banned. You know, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right, no,
Right.
let's be serious though. Let's be serious.
Okay.
The Earth is hollow, and there's dinosaurs in the Earth, right?
Yeah, I don't outright say that. Like, I do kind of play it as like kind of a dimension, within ours. Like, I mean, I guess like, certain doorways would have to be open for, the hollowness to be, I guess, activated and to re-enter our world. And yeah, there are some people who, do that for their own purposes. I guess like depopulation would be the buzzword for it.
Depopulation. Okay.
Yeah. And of course things get out of control because, you can't control dinosaurs.
No. You can't control dinosaurs, man. Mind control does
Yeah.
not work on them. No. Hold on. These doorways to the hollow Earth. We're talking about sewers. We're talking about
Sinkholes.
sinkholes. Okay, sweet, nice.
Yeah.
Gotta find one of these sinkholes and go in there. And
Yeah,
see
I feel
fun.
like from like 2014 to 2017, like every time I turned on the news, there was another sinkhole. So I was like,
yeah, that'd be a
pretty
lot.
crazy if dinosaurs came out of those.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome, man. Pretty trippy.
Yeah.
And see, that's one thing I liked about your book, man. See, everyone still now, even though zombies are tired and kind of done, people are still writing about zombies. Zombies. Urban
Yeah.
urban dystopia, zombies. I've not really read an urban dystopia with dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't
It-
imagine there's a lot of those out there.
And it's weird that I haven't, because it might as well be. And here, I'm telling you, man, some horror fans are probably not going to be on my side on this. But let me tell you something.
Okay.
If the George Romero zombies, and I love them, the Walking Dead zombies, and I love them too, are believable by some people. We're talking about reanimated dead zombies. That's what they are. They're reanimated from the dead. They're bone,
Right.
muscle, tissue, reanimated. If that's believed to be possible, then why the fuck can we not get dinosaurs? Just have them come back from the dead. Have them just reemerge from the hollow earth that we know exists, from the sinkholes, like you said, brother, from the sinkholes.
Yeah.
Let the dinosaurs and the raptors and the T-Rex come out from the sinkholes and ravage through UK, ravage through Russia, ravage through China, ravage through
Yes,
the US
exactly.
too. Okay?
I mean,
It'd be
because
great.
like,
It'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, if
Man.
zombies can be real, why can't dinosaurs? Yeah.
Shit, zombies and dinosaurs. We might getting ahead of ourselves here, but definitely, definitely.
Maybe that's where this is all leading. We could do a dinos versus the dead kind of thing.
Dude, yeah. That'd be great. I mean, zombies would be like dinosaur fodder. I mean, pretty much.
That's true. It would be
Yeah.
a very short battle, I imagine,
Yeah.
unless they're like, I don't know, like, yeah.
Unless they're like the George
like-
Romero zombies and they get really smart, they learn how to use things like weapons
Yeah.
and stuff, and maybe they can figure things out. But you know what's funny too about that is, what was it, Land of the Dead? People were like, oh, how do zombies know how to use guns? Even in the very first Night of the Living Dead, the very first zombie you see did what? He picked up a rock and he used it against a window.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
logic right there.
was very
there's
smart.
a tool on the ground. I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna bash it against a window. That's not undead, rotten brain thinking.
Yeah. No, I mean, Romero definitely planted that seed early. I mean, he might not have intentionally done it, but I mean, it adds up, I think. Um, and yeah, the I guess if we did the Return of the Living Dead zombies, which are really fast and like they didn't even die if you shot them in the head, like that would be a difficult
By the way,
battle for
we got
even
a
the
tough
dinosaurs,
question here.
I'd
We got a
imagine.
tough question from the
Oh,
chat. Stephen Hawking. Do you know who Stephen Hawking is? The guy who studies
yeah.
black holes, like Hooker black holes. That was
Oh yeah.
black holes. Okay. Stephen Hawking asked, "How do dinosaurs come out of the holes? Are they using elevator or a spiral staircase?"
Um,
I didn't get that far in the book, but if you tell me, that'd
yeah.
be great.
Yeah, no, that's that might be spoiler territory, but let's just say that I probably don't explain that in the book at all.
Oh, but I'll tell you what though. On that, I'll give you an out. Here's how. Sometimes it's best to not explain.
I agree. I agree.
Walking
There's
Dead-
a lot of over-explained stuff out there.
I had fun with The Walking Dead up until they explained that it was a virus and that everybody's infected. Everybody in the world is infected, and that when they die, they just come back. Like, why do they have to explain that? Because then later on, when you see zombies that really just look like bone, where's the teeth? There were zombies that were literal skeletons. Where is the meat on the bone to keep that thing a moving? Where's the lungs to make that thing make sounds? You know,
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So you did yourself a favor, man, gum, by not explaining it. Okay. But I gotta ask you this:
definitely.
tough questions. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Gosh, I would say, I mean, the Velociraptor is a huge favorite, of course. I feature them pretty heavily in the book. I'm also a pretty big fan of the Spinosaurus, mainly because I don't think I knew about that one as a kid. And, like, you know, my kid's been watching, dinosaur shows, and that one shows up a lot. And I'm like, that one.
Which
that
one's
one
the Spinosaurus? Is that the one that has the huge?
So, yeah, it's got a big sail on its back, like the Dimetrodon does, but it's a lot bigger. It spends half its time in the water, half its time on land.
I don't like that one.
And it's one of the bigger dinosaurs out there. Yeah.
The one I like is the I don't know its name. It has a shell, it's spiked shell, and has a big ball tail.
Oh, Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, Ankylosaurus. That one.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it can try to hold its own. Maybe it probably gets owned, but I mean, it looks pretty well defended.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's pretty well armored, and it's got that big club tail. I mean, obviously,
Right?
like,
Shit, man,
I don't know, if I were a T-Rex, I wouldn't fuck with that.
No. It's like, leave me the fuck alone, man.
Yeah.
If you eat me, I'm gonna fuck up your mouth. Okay. Oh man. Anyway, okay. Now, for those that are on the fence about Extinction Peak, what can you tell us without giving away too much of the plot? Okay. What can you tell us about the book? Like, why should we get it?
Yeah, so the book follows a brother and sister who are, they're holed up in their basement after the dinosaur apocalypse has kind of gone down. And the brother gets it in his head that, well, eventually civilization is going to put itself back together. And when it does, I want to be rich before that happens.
Right.
So
Makes sense.
he kind of convinces his sister to go with him to rob the mansion of this corrupt senator, because he believes there's like some,
Money.
gold and
gold.
yeah, money
something.
exactly
Yeah.
stashed away, in on site, and not in a bank. And that kind of kicks the story off. So they go across the wasteland, finally reach this senator's mansion. And of course it's not, there's all kinds of depravity going on behind the walls.
Oh, of course.
And,
Every senator
kind of
has...
delves into extreme horror territory.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the dinosaurs are closing in. It's a wild book.
Well, and just about every senator I've ever known, and I've known plenty. MrDeadman knows all the senators, knows all their secrets. They all do fucked up shit in behind closed doors. Hell, even
Oh, yeah.
even out in the open in front of all their friends. They have something on everybody. I mean, there's one
yeah.
sinner out there that has a video of them fucking a dog. I'm sure one sinner out there. I can't say who. One sinner out there who got caught fucking a pig. They all have some dirty shit. By the way, if you want
Yeah.
to know where to get this book, Amazon, of course. Extinction Peak, Lucas Magnum. There you go. Okay, now you say it's a brother and sister.
Hmm.
Now, um, there's no weird stuff in it, right?
There's a couple moments. There's a flashback where the brother tries something kind of weird, but she kind of shuts that down pretty quickly.
Okay. She shuts that down. Okay.
Yeah,
so wait.
yeah.
Okay, I like that, and I like that because it's a complicated
Yes.
storyline that you could tell. But she shuts it down. He tries something, she shuts it down. Okay, so we're not rooting for that guy. At least we don't want to root for him. We don't want to root for him.
Exactly.
So is he kind of like
it's more her who's the main character, I would say, the protagonist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he kind of like a Tony Soprano where we don't want to root for him, but like we kind of feel some sort of like, I don't know, there's like still a slight sliver of a human component to him?
Oh gosh, I hope so. Otherwise, I didn't do my job.
There you go. Complicated character. It's
Yeah.
always good to write complicated characters. You have to have complicated characters, man. Nowadays, people want something simple. I've heard people in writing groups be like, "How do I write this character to be racist? I'm not racist, and it troubles me to think racist things." Just write him racist. Write him racist. And
Yeah,
here's the thing. And you could have him have one moment where he justifies it. He tries to justify it. You don't have to justify yourself as a person, I guess, but you could try to
Right.
spend some time on 4chan, I guess. Spend some time spend some time with people, and you could try to find ways to justify it for them. And there you go. You got a complicated character. You got a complex character.
I mean, and for someone like that, because I have encountered, similar, interactions in writing workshops. Like, I mean, I would tell them to ask themselves, like, why do they want to write this character if they think that they can't do it? Like, why do they even want to do this if you're not willing to go all the way with it, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I totally hear you. And that's the constant thing, man. It's like, why write this? It's like, because here's the thing. Complicated characters bring in that moral dilemma, which is a moral dilemma we have in life all the time. Humanity, we're all shades of gray. Shades of gray. Even the best heroes you can imagine, even the people you look up to, I'm sure they have some skeletons in their closet. And when you know what that is, you might start wanting to disavow. Think of any pop singer. Think of any famous person, any actor or actress you looked up to. They have some deep skeletons, and when you find out about it, you might want to disavow. We're complicated. Some sins are more dangerous than others. It goes more grave than others. But it is what it is, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's why I do try to separate if I enjoy something that somebody made and it turns out that person wasn't a great person. Like, I try to keep them separate in my mind. I mean, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be this person's friend. I just happen to really like a piece of music they made or something.
Right? Like Michael Jackson. Yeah. To this day, I still like Michael Jackson. You're not gonna take you can't take Thriller away from me. You can't take Bad away from me. I mean, those songs are iconic, man. Even if Michael Jackson stared in little boys' assholes, I don't know the truth about that. Not thoroughly. I mean, it's weird, but I like the music. Shit. Anyway.
No, I mean, the Thriller video is like, one of those things that probably hatched a lot of horror fans from my generation for sure.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. All right. Now, writing Extinction Faith, what are some things that you had to research and really get into before you got into it?
Yeah, I had to, research, a little bit, as far as, since I was very clearly playing more in the fantasy, kind of Hollow Earth, region. I didn't do a whole lot of scientific research. I was kind of more concerned about like just like kind of writing something that was just really bananas, like those those dinosaur attack cards, but like in book form essentially. And but I did do a lot of reading to kind of get the tone of the book right, because I wasn't sure like what I was going for at first. I mean, this is a book that it ended up taking me something like 5 years to really get it together, like into the version that you see now. Whereas I don't know, usually I write pretty quickly, but this one there was a lot of starting and a lot of stopping. So like I had to do a lot of reading outside my genre, really, which I guess counts as research, because I was just trying to I don't know, try different things. Like I was like, do I want to tell this the way I would tell a normal horror story? I'm not sure. It wasn't, because it wasn't really ringing right when I tried to do it that way.
Yeah, tell me more about that. Tell me about have to branch out of horror and going into other genres to really get this down right.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that was reading Blood Meridian by Cormac McCarthy. It has this huge, like, it's a Western, but it feels very much like a post-apocalyptic novel, because it's just, it's the frontier and just incredibly violent and just chaos and people acting like monsters essentially. And and it also is just gorgeously written. And for whatever reason, when I actually listened to the book, I listened to it on audio, rather than reading it, the physical copy. Everything kind of clicked for me for some reason. I just that first line of Extinction Peak, when the raptors came out of sinkholes across the U.S., DeAndre Antigone's older brother Johnny saw the chaos as opportunity. Like that kind of grew out of like that tone that I discovered through reading that particular work.
Right.
Yeah.
And I like how you did that. You had to branch out, and you read, and there's elements of Western literature that could, definitely be related to like urban dystopia. I mean, it's kind of.
Oh yeah.
I mean, anymore, that's like the modern Western, if you will. It's like you have this desolate setting, the ruins, and no man's land.
Lawlessness,
Or anyone who has lawlessness and the law, the judge, the executioner. It's your gun. Do you have one? If not, you better get one, son, because they do. They have one, and they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
I like that element. And of course, like I said, only 7 chapters in, and I like that what you did there. You kind of blend that with the raptors, and it doesn't seem campy. It doesn't seem cheesy. Like you do it in a way you just like you don't over-explain it. You don't explain, because obviously there's going to be a cheese factor when it comes to dinosaurs are up. How do you get there?
Right.
You can try to explain it, and this could be cheesy no matter how hard you go into it. Unless you go like all Jurassic Park and really try to explain everything. But you just set that aside. Let's go have fun with this. Let's just go balls to the wall with it.
Exactly. Like it was a lot of it was, it came from me wanting to challenge myself, as a writer and try to do something that was just, a little larger in scope. Like, I don't know if you've read any like my other stuff, but it tends to be very, it tends to be a lot more intimate and, like limited characters and limited point of view. Whereas Extinction Peak is a little more widespread, I guess.
And we'll be able to talk about some of your other work later on in the show. Now, were there any hurdles or anything that you have to overcome on writing this book?
Yeah, there was, I the first version of it, I wrote it and I knew there was something off, but I wasn't sure what, and so I showed it to a few friends, and they couldn't really figure it out either, but they were like, I don't know, something's off, and I was like, all right. So I like put it away for a while, and I think really what it came down to was just like, the biggest hurdle was starting it at a time where I just wasn't really ready to write something this large in scope. Like I needed to like kind of hone my craft and build my confidence and and read more, and I eventually got where I needed to go, but it took a while.
Okay, all right. I gotta hone your craft. You gotta get it just right, for this book here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a question that's brought up is, I don't know if we explore this in this Extinction Peak, but is it ever explored at all how the dinosaurs went underground?
No.
No. No. On that thought, though, how much research?
There is a hint actually.
Okay.
There's a very brief hint towards the end of the book that kind of hints at a cataclysm that caused it to happen.
Okay, and I'm curious. Whenever I think it was like with the first chapter, it talks about Hollow Earth or whatever. I was like, I gotta ask this guy. I gotta ask this Magnum guy, this Big League Chew guy, about Hollow Earth. How much, how far, how deep did you get into Hollow Earth? Come on, and
I went down some rabbit holes for sure. I do prefer the Hollow Earth folks to the Flat Earth folks, but
wait, hold on. Have you been to Antarctica? Have you been to Antarctica?
That's true. I have not been to Antarctica, so checkmate, I guess.
No, but okay. What are some crazy things about the Hollow Earth?
I think one of the crazier theories I read about it, which I did not end up incorporating, but might show up in another book, was the idea that there was actually a gateway at each, the North Pole and the South Pole, and you could actually fly through the Earth, north to south. That's pretty bananas.
Yeah, the geocentric Earth elevator that we all know about. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, tell us something new about the Hollow Earth. I think
something.
Yeah. Like, wow me. Come on. We all know about the geocentric Earth elevator. Jesus, come on.
Oh well.
Invented by the Nazis. That's why we don't use it. I mean.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I mean, we did use them for other things, but Anyway.
Yeah.
So, what are some other things about Hollow Earth?
Well, after I wrote my book, the president of Hollow Earth actually invited me to come down and help build their amusement park. That was kind of fun.
There's a president of Hollow Earth,
and they want to build an amusement park.
Are you shitting me right now?
Yeah.
Wait. Are you fucking with me?
Yeah, maybe a little.
Oh, shit. Okay, how much of that is true and how much is that a bullshit?
That's all bullshit.
Oh, come on, Magnum.
I know.
Oh, it sounded so cool though. It sounded so cool. But
yeah.
But no, has anyone in Hollow Earth conspiracy ever reached out to you?
No,
Okay.
No, nothing like that. Which, I did have some weirdos reach out to me after I wrote Gods of the Dark Web, and that kind of freaked me out a little. But
hey, that's one other book I want to talk to you about too.
Sure.
Before we move on to that, I suppose, let me be done, exhaust everything about the Hollow Earth real fast. Are there any theories out there that dinosaurs live in the Earth still? Because I think I heard something about that.
I haven't. I don't know. I mean, I did hear one. I can't remember if I read it, if it was like a crazy theory or if it was actually just like a book of fiction. But like, I remember reading a book when I was a kid where the dinosaurs like went to space and then they like came back to like.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The Cosmonauts Reptoids. That's right. I remember that book.
Yes.
Yeah, the dinosaurs.
Which, at the end of the day, I mean, I guess that's kind of just fan fiction for the show V, right?
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, before we move on to your other works, is there anything else you want to say about Extinction Peak? You want to give one more pitch, like an elevator pitch, to those that are on the fence about it?
Yeah, so if you buy now through the Madness Heart Press bookstore, you will get a signed copy of it from me. I will personalize it to you. I'll make it, I'll make it out to however you want me to sign it over to you. Yeah, so that's fun. Everybody likes signed books.
Signed books are
good. Yeah.
How do they say? How do they get that signed book?
Yeah, so that is going to be madnessheart.press, I believe. Let me just double check and see.
I should put that link in the description box, in the stream, and also in the chat. We're on Skype. Shoot me that link, and I'll put it in the chat, okay?
Okay, cool.
That way you guys can get a signed copy if you want that, okay?
Yes.
There's really not a whole lot of dinosaur horror out there. Okay, there's plenty of dinosaur erotica. We're not talking about that with this fine gentleman here. He seems like he's a good Christian man, or maybe I don't know if he's a Christian man, but he seems like he's a good man of nice, fine moral caliber. Okay, nice, fine moral compass. Don't need to tell him about taken by the Velociraptor, taken by the T-Rex. You don't know about that stuff, right? You never heard of that, right?
I have. I remember. Was it Ravished by the Raptors? I believe was the.
Oh, great! Now he's correcting me. Yes, it's Ravished. Ravished by the Raptors, taken by the boned by the T-Rex. Actually, boned by the T-Rex.
Okay, because I have alliteration, which is why I thought maybe Ravished by the Raptors was the title, but yeah. So crazy. And apparently those books made a ton of money too. I mean, I don't know how true that is.
Of course they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, have you dabbled in other genres besides horror?
I wrote a romance, and put it up for a while, just to see how it would do. I wrote it under a pseudonym. And then, I've written some crime fiction here and there, mostly in the form of short stories. But maybe there will be a novel in that genre one day. Who knows? I never know what's next, which is kind of exciting.
Have you ever dabbled in erotica?
Not from a writing standpoint. No. I've read,
not in a writing standpoint. Listen to this guy. Okay, it's fine. I've dabbled in plenty of times, writing and doing it. Yeah. It's okay. Cool. All right. Let's move on to. Come on, let's just do it in the deep web.
Yeah, Gods of the Dark Web.
Gods of the Dark Web. Gods of the Dark Web.
Yeah, that book is a gift that keeps on giving, man. I mean, I did it was first published in February of 2018, and I still get people buying it and like telling me they enjoyed it. It's kind of rewarding, it's not bad for a book that took like 2 months to write.
2 months to write?
Yeah.
It took you, like you said, 5 years to do Extinction Peak, but 2 months to get...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gods of the Dark Web. Who are the Gods of the Dark Web? Is it Pepe the Frog?
No. It's kind of... I played with the idea of, like kind of Lovecraftian deities using these nasty corners of the internet to kind of cultivate a new cult, basically. And that's what that book is ultimately about. But it's also about just finding fucked up videos of people doing awful things. All the stuff that they tell you is on the dark web, but it's not as easy to find as you would think it would be, I guess.
I take it that writing that book you had to dabble and go pretty deep. I mean, did you explore the dark web?
No, I mostly explored secondhand sources on that one because I I do tend to be a little paranoid about that sort of thing.
Good cover. Good cover for the FBI. Good cover for the police. Okay, through the secondhand source.
Yeah, like,
What are some strange things that you fell into?
Oh, so there's this whole like subreddit called like Let's Not Meet or something like that, where they have like all these like crazy like supposedly true stories about, kids going on the dark web and, seeing all kinds of awful shit. And and yeah, like there's just all these stories about like, like going on there and then like getting stalked by like shady characters. And I was just like, there's definitely like a novel or a novella in this, it's and so it just, I don't know, that was one of those books that for whatever reason, like it just came together really quickly. Like I was reading all these like, secondhand accounts and just, I don't know, just everything just fell into place. I came up with this idea for this, kid who goes to the dark web to try to buy a gun, and disappears. And so his older brother goes looking for him and kind of ends up following the same path. And it all leads back to this town called Avalon Lake, which is seemingly abandoned, but definitely isn't. It's a fun one. It's got one of the most grueling chapters I've ever written, and everybody who's read the book and like they're like, dude, chapter 12, really? I was like, yeah.
I'm gonna table that. I'm gonna go back to that real fast. I'm gonna table that though,
okay.
But on the back burner, hopefully I don't forget. Chapter 12, ask about that. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
So in the story, you got a kid looking for a gun. He goes on the deep web looking for a gun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and his older brother. I mean, what happens to the kid? Does he disappear?
Yeah, he disappears, and the older brother is like a true crime writer, and he's like in the middle of like a signing, and their dad calls, and he's like, your dumb little brother disappeared again, and like, so he doesn't think it's anything, but then it's like, he's gone for a little longer than he normally is, so he's promises to look into it, so he goes investigating himself, and it just doesn't turn out well for anybody.
I'm surprised he went disappearing. He disappeared again. What was the first time? He played hide and seek and was never found? Or, I mean, did he?
He's just adrift, one of those characters.
Hang out with the questionable free candy vans and disappeared. I mean, this kid. Oh, how old is this kid? He's like dabbling into the dark web.
Like 16, 17. Like not like a kid. I say a kid, but like
I was thinking of a little boy, chubby cheeks and everything.
Yeah.
Gee willikers, no. I'm gonna go look for a gun, like a 6-year-old on the deep web. Shit.
Yeah.
He wouldn't know. Be on Roblox. There's plenty of creepers there too. All right. So the younger brother's 16. Now this makes more sense. I'm liking this. Older brother gets involved. He goes looking for him. Okay. Does the older brother find anything? Does he find a dealer for smack? Does he?
Yeah, so he ends up, seeing some messed up videos, and then he gets like this invitation, I guess, from, a weird email that shows him all these pictures around this abandoned town, and he spots his little brother's car like in the town, and so he like decides to investigate, and he knows the police are just not gonna like really look into it, and so he goes out on his own, and and runs afoul of some bad actors.
Interesting. Now I went ahead and dropped the link in the chat, in the live chat here for Gods of the Dark Web.
Oh, thank you.
I could see why people like this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting concept. I mean, it intrigues, right? What is it?
Yeah.
What's going on? What is the deep secret here? I got to ask about chapter 12.
Yeah. It's I'm trying to do it in a non-spoiler way, but let's just say that I don't know, infants and cutting boards don't mix.
Oh my God, he went there. He went there. Jesus. Oh, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Horror has to be able to push boundaries to make you uncomfortable. Okay,
Yeah.
horror has to be able to do that. You have to be able to have the freedom. Oh my God, how was it hard to write that?
It was. It was. It was. I wrote it. You know. I was around the time I found out. That my partner was pregnant with our kid, so it was especially hard to write it, and I got like really upset after I wrote it, and like had to like walk away from the screen for a little while. But I ultimately felt like it needed to be there, so I left it in.
I'm only laughing because what Ken Stark said in chat, he's waiting for a bottle of scotch and a straw so that I can keep my alcohol level up. I guess he thinks I'm wearing a mask. This isn't a mask, this is my new face, and I drink with glass.
Nice.
Like a proper gentleman. Anyway. Yeah, look, horror has to be able to push boundaries. It has to be able to do that. And I do like that, yes, it did mess with you. It tested your own feelings about the whole thing. Like, people bring up Stephen King all the time. Like, even when he wrote, what was it, Pet Cemetery, he had a hard time with that book because it involved a kid. And so he tabled that for a little bit.
Yep.
You got to be able to push boundaries, because one of my favorite books, and it's gruesome, was it The Girl Next Door, Jack Ketchum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's based on a true event. That actually fucking happened. That shit.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Oof.
it's appalling. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's not a pleasant read, but
No.
you get perspective from reading stuff that pushes you. Like, you're like, holy shit. Because, and here's what's great about horror fiction and just books in general that are willing and able to go that far. That shit would have never be put on TV. Would never, at least not American TV. Maybe in Mexico, maybe in Japan, maybe, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
But in literary form, you can push the boundaries all the way. Go ahead. Go ahead. And have that.
That one and Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez are like classics of just pushing all the way, basically. Heavy stuff.
Yeah. Now, was that the hardest thing you've ever had to write?
In terms of content, I would say, yeah. I don't know though, because I mean, Saint Sadist posed a lot of challenges as well, but that was more like out of anxiety, because I was like, Saint Sadist is so unfiltered. I was like, I don't know, like worried people were gonna think bad things about me, which some people did, but there was kind of anxiety tied in with writing that book, and then I guess that made that hard, but yeah, I think that baby scene probably tops it all as far as that goes. Now, for me anyway,
as a creator, as a horror author, is there a sort of thrill, or how would you describe it, when people get kind of like the wrong idea about you based on your work?
It depends on who it is. Like, if it's just a random person on the internet, like it might upset me like for a little bit, but I'll eventually get over it. But if like somebody who I'm like close with, like, and not that this has happened, like I'm probably, it's probably misleading for me to like even mention it, because like nothing like this has happened, but like it would upset me if like somebody I knew like and was like really close with like thought like that I was like half as bad as my books are.
Right? I mean, people have to understand, especially horror authors, they write some demented stuff, especially splatterpunk, especially bizarro horror. Bizarro horror is a whole other breed of its own,
Oh
man.
yeah.
The-
Oh yeah.
Anything can happen in that because it's bizarro.
Yes.
You you can kind of say, well, what does that say about the author? But then it kind of reaches a point to where maybe the guy's just maybe the guy or lady or whatever is just I don't know coming up with these ideas. you know?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
shit. You know. Okay. Now, I always ask. I try to ask this for all my guests. Is there something about the horror or writing or publishing that really grinds your gears?
Oh gosh. I mean, lately I've been really kind of just annoyed by stuff that seems to be more interested in I don't know. I feel like sometimes horror can be it can have a message, and that can be great, you know, but I also feel like sometimes it doesn't always need. And I feel like a lot of horror today like is very thematically heavy, and they kind of got to the point get to a point where they've almost like replaced an entertaining story with their theme, you know, and that can be I don't know, it can be a little jarring and heavy-handed and not come off well in my opinion.
I mean,
Um
and when you say theme, do you mean like a message?
yeah, maybe. I mean, not always, but I don't know. Like you'll sometimes hear a director be like, "Well, my horror movie's better than most horror movies because it's about trauma." And I'm just like, "Well, isn't every horror movie like really about trauma? I mean, come on."
Every horror movie is about trauma. Even the cheesy slashers. Even Friday the 13th
Yep,
is about trauma. You tell me those college
absolutely.
kids didn't go through trauma. You tell me those camp counselors didn't go through trauma when all they were trying to do was have sex, and this guy just keeps on killing them.
Yeah, yeah,
Talk about
absolutely.
trauma. And the chick tries to survive, is in the canoe, and then baby Jason comes up and drowns her.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
fine. He's not a baby, but adolescent. You get me.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Shit, it wasn't even him that was killing her. It was the the mom,
Mrs. Voorhees. Yeah.
Mrs. Voorhees. But yeah, you're right. You're right. There seems to be this surge of just wait. Are you still there? A poor connection. Wait, is the connection still poor? Is he there? It's happening live right now. The stream is still up. The connection to the guest. It says poor connection. There is a network connection issue. Man, a network connection issue. Why now? We're just getting to something pretty juicy. They got to him. They got to him. Hollywood got to him. You're exposing us. You're talking about us putting messages and everything. Let's see if I recall the guy. Recall the guy. Call him up. Okay, it's just ding, 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 and ding. Okay, trying to call the guest, Lucas Mangum. Network connection issue. I'm not sure what happened there. We're almost up for time. You know, my last question I always like to ask is, what is your favorite horror movie? I kind of wanted to explore this putting messages, themes behind stories and movies, and I get what he's talking about. There's a lot of that lately. You know, it can't just be we want to have an entertaining movie. We got to have a theme behind it. You got to have a message behind it. It has to be, you know, it's like they have to have a theme behind it or have a certain message behind it, and they sell it on that message. They sell it on the message, not be. And the reason why they do that is because half the time, probably, the movie itself sucks. They want to sell it on the message. The underlying subtext to the film, which isn't even subtext. Like certain movies, like, what is it? It's not even horror. What is it called? Hunt? There's nothing subtle about that. Or, how about this? Netflix, the platform. Nothing subtle about that. That movie, if you've ever seen it, and that's more related because it's a horror movie. It's about, the political message behind that is, I guess you could say communism. It's about sharing the resources equally. But if you ever seen my review of that movie, I broke it down how it's not possible for those resources, the food on the... If you've never seen the movie, the gist is this. There's a long corridor complex with 666 floors. Each floor has 2 people, and there's a table that starts from the top, goes all the way to the bottom, with nice cooked food and desserts. It is a full spread. The table is about the size of a queen's bed, okay? But covered with food on plates and nice. But we're talking about that has to feed 666 floors? That's not going to happen. That's not possible. It's not going to happen unless everybody just eats. And they only get that, like, I think, like twice a day or something. But, whatever. It's... Man, I'm surprised I can't get the guy. Let me see if I call him one more time. I'm going to see if I can get his favorite horror movie before I wrap up the show. I always ask, what's your favorite horror movie? Maybe they got him, man. They got him. They got him. That's okay. That's okay. That happens. About messages in film. I gotta tell you, we reached the apex of messages in film when stuff like... When comic book movies are being pushed because of their particular message and not because of the movie itself. Comic book movies. Popcorn, easy, like, you just numb the brain, you shut down the brain, you just watch the dumb film and be entertained. Right? Comic book movies. When you have it now where it's like, oh, you gotta watch this film because strong female lead. That's the reason why you gotta watch this movie. It's like, oh, is it? Can you just tell us, like, what's cool about the movie? Can you just show us some teasers or trailers that actually look cool? Does it have to be so heavy-handed? And I don't mind certain messages in films as long as, like, subtle. Anyway, so guys, I'm gonna do something different here. Instead of asking the guest what his favorite horror movie is, I'm gonna ask you guys in the chat. And you're listening to this on the podcast form version, you kind of miss it on this. You got to check out live. It's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:30. Guys in the chat, what is your favorite horror movie? Has it changed? Yes, Stephen Hawking. The platform had a bad ending. It most definitely did. All the guy did was ride the elevator all the way up to the top. What's at the very top? We know what's at the very top. All the chefs. We have not... That movie never shows any armed guards. So you're going to tell me the crazy cannibalistic people at the very bottom would never even try to ride the elevator all the way to the top? They would never even try? Like the homicidal girl that was like supposedly looking for her daughter or some shit. Like she never tried to go all the way to the top. And what would happen? What would happen if you got all the way to the top? They never explained that. Are the chefs gonna try to fight you? Bull crap. You ever seen a fight in the kitchen? It's fucking ruthless, man. It's anyone's game. Whoever gets the knives first. Whoever gets the butcher knife first. Is that the fly? The Thing or the Fly? Yeah, The Thing is awesome, man. The Thing is a good movie. The Thing is a good movie, man. That is a good, solid movie right there. Let's see. One Cut of the Dead. I have not seen that. I'll put it on my list. I'll check it out. Alright. Anyway. I think we'll wrap up the show here. I'll probably stream a video game on Twitch. You can check me out there. Real Gaming Chill. You guys take it easy. South Dingo in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Okay. Anyway, you guys take it easy.